Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Thoughts Count Anywhere, coming to you live from the Gold Live Vegas studios in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada, the hot spot. Man, oh man, oh man. 2 days, I believe, this past week. The flames on our logo today certainly represent what's been going on in this town weather-wise. As I believe we set two records this past week, at least for those companies. That's smart. I wish I was that. I would say you're probably doing even more wonders for the folks down at Fremont Street in your neighborhood down there when you're working.
Oh, yeah, the idiots are out in full force.
Hopefully, my brother, you are staying hydrated.
I had this, oh, yeah, for sure. I had this lady yesterday, I was kicking out of the building, and she was, like, going crazy on me, and she's waving something in her hand, and I was like, what are you doing? And I looked closely at her hand, and I was like, are you really waving your crack pipe at me? And then she realized what was in her hand and got her stuff and ran out of there very quickly.
Oh, my gosh. That's funny. That is funny. Well, we want to welcome everybody for making us part of your day on this bright and sunny and warm and toasty Saturday morning, coming to you out of Las Vegas. As always, 702-329-6947, 1-855-502-4321. Press 1 to come right into the studio. We have a trip to give away for Cancun. That is still up for grabs. I know we'll come up with a question or something fun for you to try to win that. Also, too, hey, send us a live tweet using hashtag ThoughtsCountAnywhere. It'll appear on the screen. We'll be able to address it and respond to it. And of course, our chat rooms are on fire, dare I say, already. Busy day in pro wrestling, busy week, but in the previous show, my partner Brett and I were talking about how Las Vegas has become the mecca of sports. Well, before we went on the air, Chief, man, Las Vegas today in pro wrestling has a lot going on. Talk about what's happening in Vegas alone today.
I think we've got 3 companies with shows. I know, let's see, Versus is going to start it out at 2 o'clock at the
Versus Pro Studios at the Boulevard Mall.
At the Boulevard Mall. Then
but they have 2.
Then they have a 6:30 show somewhere off by the...
I think are they doing it because the original event got canceled.
Oh, it did?
The original event got canceled, so I think they're doing it at 6:30 at the mall.
Okay, one I wasn't aware of.
The original event was canceled. Yep.
Then we've got the Beast Compound downtown tonight. Doors open 7, shows 8, and then we have the second night of the anniversary show for FSW. Starts at 7 o'clock tonight. So we've got a lot of companies with a lot of wrestlers in town. And
absolutely.
MK, you still suck.
Oh.
Just wanted to give you a shout out.
And of course, the big one coming in August, SummerSlam, is coming to T-Mobile. Thoughts Count Anywhere will be in the house. And I'll tell you what, we'd love for you to go on our website, which I have pulled up right now on our laptop. Go to ThoughtsCountAnywhere.com, click on the shop tab, and our merchandise will pop up. We would love if you would be so kind. If you want, grab a shirt, buy a shirt, help causes. We're still supporting Garth Wall and the Nevada Coalition for Suicide Prevention. 50% of net proceeds will go to that cause in honor of Garth's grandfather. Here he goes. Eat, Sleep, Watch Wrestling, Repeat. And Eat, Sleep, Sell, Cars, Repeat. Both of those 2 shirts will get the 50% donation of net proceeds. Here's one that's interesting. I want to be a guest bell ringer. Well, I'll tell you what. If you want to be a guest bell ringer, that's very simple. Simply purchase a shirt. Purchase a shirt, put it on, and we will schedule you to come in to be a bell ringer. That's all you need to do. Shirt, $20. That's it. Or you can go on there and get any of the products that have that logo on it. We'll bring you in to be our guest bell ringer. Other shirts, and always, too, hey, guys, Chiefs Ranch shirts are out there. Thoughts Count Anywhere. Acknowledge me.
That's a good shirt.
I'm wearing that today. Acknowledge me, the Hall of Famer. A lot in here to go. And don't forget, we're on ProWrestlingTees.com also for our logo shirts. You can check us out there. So we would appreciate it. You want to be a bell ringer, which today, of course, our booth is empty. We don't have a bell ringer except Chief. We're back to the master of the bell so that this way he can teach everybody how to officially ring that bell. Remember also, cast your votes for Bracketology, the best finisher. We have that still going on as well. I believe we're going to come up with the announcement of some of the results a little bit later on in the show.
Yep.
So we have that happening, a lot going on. And don't forget, June 29th, this crew right here will be live from Firehouse Subs on Nellis and Sahara from 7 to 8 p.m. that Tuesday night. Special guests, as I understand it, Shade and Project West are supposed to grace us with their presence at that show as well. Hopefully we'll have giveaways. We'll give away a trip. I'm hoping to have some T-shirts there if I can get them on time. But come on down and see us. Have dinner there. Grab a sandwich. Whatever you can do. 7 to 8 p.m. Live remote. Go Live Vegas, and thoughts count anywhere. All right, let's get started. A lot to go over. All right, almost in line for big singles push. He does nothing for me as a singles competitor. Guys?
Vince has a hard-on for big guys, and that's his new big guy since he got rid of Strowman. So I'm pretty sure they're just going to strap the rocket to him and take off.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care.
For those of you who are watching the show in the chat room, there is also some information in there about some other shows tonight. GCW, FSW tonight. EC3 is in town. He's going to be at the mall doing signings, I believe.
12 to 2.
There you go. And he's in the main event tonight at FSW, so you check that stuff out as well.
Can
All right.
Can I take a minute real quick?
Yeah.
Hey, I'd like to give a shout out to Damian Drake, one of our wrestlers in town. Had his surgery on Thursday. Doing well. Started his rehab yesterday. So, Damian, get well. Get the hell back in the ring.
From all of us here at TCA, absolutely. And from what I saw in some early posts, he's got out of the hospital. He's walking. You know, I mean, they go. First of all, nowadays after surgery, you're in PT right away.
Yep.
And so he's off to a great start. So we appreciate and hope that he gets back to the ring soon. All right, Aleister Black. Thank you, Sean, for putting our number in there. Oh, wait, no, that's not our number. It looks like it. 702-329-69. Oh, that is our number. Press 1, you come into the studio. Anyway, you know what? I didn't recognize it.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Sean. I'm off to a good start, and I got a long day behind a microphone. Anyway, listen, Aleister Black is being rumored to be heading back to WWE. If you bring Samoa Joe back, why not?
Hey, I hope so. He's creative. He's great to watch, and that's what we need in professional wrestling today.
Right.
And you mentioned Samoa.
Yep.
Outstanding spot. Him and Kevin.
Now he's the enforcer now, right, for William Regal?
Yeah.
Right.
But he's not the true enforcer. That's Arn Anderson.
Okay, all right.
Let's make that distinction.
Okay, he's the enforcer in NXT right now for William Regal. How about that?
But I think it was a great piece.
Listen, if I were Aleister Black, okay, now what Tommy End is the way he's out on social media.
Talk to me.
My thoughts would be this. You canned my wife because of the third-party social media stuff. I will hold the rest of that. We have a caller on the line. Caller, your name, please, and where are you calling from?
This is Sean Hyde, wishing you guys a good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Sean. How are you?
I'm good. I wanted to say thank you for the shout-out, Chief.
You're welcome, my brother.
Wanted to give a little update, let you guys know exactly what Chief said. Damian Drake's doing great. Surgery went extremely well. Started rehab yesterday, and he's just, rebuilding time, I guess.
There you go.
We sat back last night together and was watching the night one of FSW, and what an exciting time we live in. Even with him being down and out with surgery right now, it's such a positive time, and for him to be able to sit back and reflect and watch all these great companies that are having shows today, just an awesome time in Vegas.
Hey, am I going to see you tonight?
Yes, we will be at the second night of the anniversary show.
All right, brother.
Damian wants to be there. Unguided may be separated right now, but we will be there to support, Matt Vandergriff against TJP. This is a match actually Damian Drake has wanted since, the beginning of his career, as him and TJ were tag team partners before. And for Matt to get this opportunity, we're going to be right there by his side to support him and to support FSW and the rest of the companies out there. So
does that mean we'll see you at Versus first?
I'm not sure if we're going to make that yet. And what's going on with that show? Didn't you guys just say it was canceled?
No.
No.
It was there was another event tonight that was originally scheduled. It was something Lucha. It was a Lucha sponsored style card.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right.
Okay, cool.
So they're still holding it.
Yep.
I think they're holding it still at the Versus Studios after the first card.
Yep.
but I could be wrong on that. But yeah, so Versus is pulling double duty today.
Versus first show is 2 o'clock.
Correct.
At the Boulevard Mall.
Same time, same bat channel. All right, man.
Okay.
Send our best
It's a
along.
possibility.
Okay.
Yep. You guys have a good show.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah.
Love
Thank
you,
you.
brother.
Becky Lynch, rumored to return anytime as she has been down at the Performance Center. This has been rumored since January, right?
You know what? When she gets back, and I'm just going to say it
Yeah.
straight, no dirt sheet stuff. When she's ready to come back, she'll come back.
Right.
And hopefully she's healthy and she's ready to kick ass again.
Absolutely. I think the women's division needs it right now. I hope, in a way, she can float between both shows. Maybe not pin her to one or the other. You know what I'm saying?
I hope she kicks Charlotte's ass.
Yeah.
Myself.
There's a lot of storylines with her that are left undone.
I hope she
sir.
kicks everybody's ass, especially Bailey's, because my favorite wrestler is whoever's going against Bailey,
So that means you're pulling for Bianca tomorrow.
for sure.
There you go. Now, I want to throw this out there as we get ready to talk about Hell in a Cell preview and before we go to our first break. We have this themed event called Hell in a Cell.
Yes.
Why aren't every matches in Hell in a Cell? Why only 2? Why shouldn't every match be in Hell in a Cell?
Creative.
Well, no,
writing.
forget the storyline.
That would make sense.
I'm not talking about the storylines to get matches in there. I'm talking about this is a themed show. Hell in a Cell. Why aren't every match, regardless of how storylines are built, inside inside the hell for every match? That's the theme of the show.
It makes sense.
That's the problem.
It makes sense.
It makes sense.
It's creative writing. No, it makes sense, Aaron.
I don't know.
And I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you.
And it's really the only one. I mean, TLC is the same thing. You have 1 or 2 matches that are under that umbrella. Every match, if that's the theme,
Yes.
get every match. Maybe it doesn't have to be all 3 TLC. Maybe one match is just tables, one match is whatever. And then you have your main event where you're using both or all 3. But you've got these themed events. Why isn't every match under that theme? I never understood that.
If you want to bitch about creative writing and their lack of creativity, that's how they got these stupid theme pay-per-views. Because I miss the days of like Judgment Day, No Way Out, like all the different events. Like, you knew when No Way Out was coming, there was an Elimination Chamber match. But
Right.
it wasn't called Elimination Chamber, for God's sake.
Exactly.
They don't need all these dumb, if you have to name a pay-per-view after a freaking type of match, you need new writers.
And if you want to show your disdain, you can go to thoughtscountanywhere.com.
That's why I made it.
Go to
I'm going to wear it next
Can
week.
you go to the laptop, please, Mr. Producer? If you want to express your thoughts, which, of course, we all know pretty much everybody's thoughts about the creative writing team, look, we have a shirt available on our shop link, only $20.
I
There you
will
go.
wear it next week.
There you go. So there you have it. You can show your support or lack thereof. Anyway, all right, with that, we're up against our first break. We have a lot to talk about. When we come back, we're going to get into this is the go-home show of TCA for tomorrow's pay-per-view. We'll talk about the matches. There's so much to talk about in the world of professional wrestling, and we want you to be involved. 702-329-6947. We'll be back right after this.
It's not the worst podcast ever, is it? It's the best podcast. Thoughts Count Anywhere. All your wrestling news, all your hobbit hey, all your gimmickry. Go on over, listen wherever your podcasts are downloaded. The Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. I'm the big LG Doc Ellis. That's my endorsement. Booyah!
At Firehouse Subs, a portion of every purchase helps provide much-needed life-saving equipment to first responders. We make our subs differently because our subs make a difference. Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs. Save more lives.
Shut your mouth, you thong wearing fatty!
Experience the 2021 Mazda 3 sedan and see where inspiration can take you.
Grab the brass ring in a 2021 Mazda 3 with exclusive FSW discounts at Finley Mazda. Get first today at the Valley Auto Mall.
Do it again. There we go. 702-329-6947. It's been a while. podcast at Thoughts Count Anywhere. All right, tomorrow, gentlemen, although Thoughts Count is on Father's Day. And by the way, happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there and mothers who are also fathers. We want to wish everybody a safe and happy Father's Day tomorrow to celebrate.
If I was
families.
you, I'd shut my mouth.
I have a quandary, and I'm getting into not an argument, but my wife keeps giving me the raised eyebrow. You know, it's Father's Day, but it's also a pay-per-view. I'm not, you know, I'm a little cringing about sitting down in front of a TV for 3 hours watching the pay-per-view while my dad's there and everybody's there to celebrate Father's Day.
Can you get out of the house for 3 hours?
No.
Come over to my place.
Okay. Honey, I have to go to Chief's house.
It's for work.
Well, it's funny. I was
Hey, creative writing.
I went to see a show last night, Summer of Love, with Linda Moore and Mark Endell last night at Chianti's, and I was sitting with Lisa Mascari from Hand and Stone
Right.
and Mark Maynard, and we were talking about that exact thing. And I said to them, I have to watch this. This is research for my Thoughts Count Anywhere show.
Absolutely.
So it's not like I can't, but you know, so we'll have some fun with it. Anyway, that's tomorrow. So let's talk about some of the stuff
I
going
give
on.
you a good excuse.
No, you do. I appreciate. Can you write a note for me,
Yeah,
like Epstein's mother?
Absolutely.
Chief said. All right. Tomorrow, pay-per-view, Thoughts Count Anywhere. By the way, you notice on the desk, I'm a proud owner, and I don't know if Aaron can get the shot of it or not. You see his head at the bottom of the screen there. I'm the proud owner of the brand new Karrion Kross action figure, courtesy of Power Play Sports Collectibles, who's got some inventory, and he was kind enough to share that he's got them, and I quickly jumped on one, and there you have it. Hopefully, next time he's in town, maybe with some people I know, we can get it autographed at some point. Hint, hint. But anyway, but I'm a proud owner of my very first. This is the very first wrestling action figure I own. I never bought any in the 80s, and I never did all of that till this man right here.
I've got my George and my Jesse, and I got that guy.
There you go.
That's it.
There you go.
After what came out yesterday, I'm pretty sure it's going to happen a lot sooner than you think.
Absolutely. For those who don't know, him and
Bronson
Reed were backstage at SmackDown yesterday. So, no. I'm reading what was on social media. It was out there. So they were down there just to kind of check things out. All right. Watch the replay. Okay. All right. Let's go into the pay-per-view tomorrow. WWE Championship Hell in a Cell match, Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre.
Bobby Lashley solely because I want to see Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam.
For the title.
For the title.
I say Bobby Lashley so we can get over this run of Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre.
And I think and I'm gonna side with you guys on taking Bobby for your reason alone. Drew McIntyre held this company on his back during the pandemic and everything.
Yes, he did.
Unfortunately, now this storyline is being played out a little longer. I'm hoping with reason, and I'll give creative like this much of credit, a smidgen. But yeah, I think the storyline is kind of gone enough, and I would love to see Drew win it in front of people, but it's not going to happen at SummerSlam based on what they're doing and if you believe the rumors that are out there. So
I agree.
Unless there's going to be some surprises, look, and there's a potential. Look what's been going on with Kofi and MVP the last couple of weeks. Are we going to see something happen that Kofi all of a sudden maybe turns and maybe gets involved in this somehow? Because we know he was in the gauntlet matches. He wrestled McIntyre for this opportunity. Maybe a surprise involvement that we don't get a winner.
I never thought of it that way, but that makes sense.
I mean, something's brewing for them to make a big deal of MVP talking to Kofi. Trying to recruit, but who knows? So I would not be surprised if something happens that this ends up with a no decision kind of thing. But if there is, I think Bobby's going to retain. All right, this match made last night. SmackDown Women's Champion Bianca Belair versus Bayley inside the cage.
My favorite wrestler is whoever's going against Bayley. So Bianca Belair.
I want to see Bayley get the hair whip.
Oh,
hell yeah!
That would be. How
about that?
I second that motion.
Thank you.
I'm still reeling from the one she gave Sasha. Mother fricker.
And that was there was a nice bruise there.
Thomas Burnett puts in there, he thinks Woods is going to turn on Kofi. That's interesting.
I don't think the New Day is ever going to turn on each other.
But are they really the New Day without Big E? Let's face it.
That's what I was going to say. Is Big E going to come back? Is there eventually that they're going to possibly form back up, you think, or?
When Vince gets bored of his single push,
And-
like he gets bored of everything else, and he loves the New Day, so I'm sure they're gonna end up back together. at
And
some
I think
point.
Big E's single run has stalled.
Do you?
I do. I do. I mean, look where he is right now. He's in a tag match with Kevin Owens last night on TV.
Right.
You know, they had their issues.
Right.
It was believed that holding the IC belt was going to lead to a program with Reigns going after the belt. His name hasn't come up for the Universal title now in months because, I'm sorry, Reigns with the Universal, because what is he doing? He's dealing with the family. He's dealing with all this other stuff. Ray, he had the match last night with Ray that was supposed to be on the pay-per-view tomorrow. Now who's going to be his opponent tomorrow?
Right.
So I think Big E's kind of fallen back out of that main event picture a little bit. Now he's in this tag team story, which really I think the bottom line is between Kevin and Sammy, which is now one of the matches for tomorrow. That's a match I'd love to see in the cage.
Do you think Sammy's going to win the IC belt back sometime down the road?
Oh, down the road is possible, but it would be interesting if he teams with Apollo Crews and Aziz because of the way Sammy's dressed in the military gear.
Yep. Yep.
You know, I
I
would
agree.
not be surprised to see that happen.
I agree. I agree.
And I think that would happen faster than him winning back the belt.
Okay.
Sammy aligning with them somehow.
Right. Right.
And that's what I don't know. That's what I think is going to happen.
Okay.
I think the IC belt, in a way, has almost fallen back into irrelevancy again.
It's tarnished.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. Again, it's not what it was. Never has been. I watched the documentary on WWE through Peacock on Pat Patterson. I don't know if anybody's watched it. It is such a great story. He made that IC belt because of who he is, who he was, and he will be the best there ever will be holding that IC belt.
It's freaking history.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, good sir, I have a new name for you this week.
For me? Oh, old style.
Sputnik Monroe.
I've actually heard of that one.
Sputnik Monroe. I've never heard of it. I know the satellite, but that's about it.
Sputnik
about it.
Monroe.
Which let me ask you this question: Did
Yes, sir.
Sputnik Monroe wrestle during that time with the saddle with the Sputnik stuff with Russia and all that?
He wrestled down south.
Okay. It's not what it was when the Miz had. Oh, Jason, that's from our good buddy Jason. It's not what it was when the Miz had it. I'd even question. I mean, Miz did a good job with the IC belt. He's had it 8, 9, 100 times, you know, kind of thing. But I don't know. There was much more prestige with it 10 years ago than it is today.
I go back and I look. Patterson,
Yep.
Morales.
Yep.
Who else do you want me to mention?
Oh, there
You know,
there were
those
great
guys.
names. Yeah. Didn't Mr. Perfect hold it for a while?
Yeah, even in
believe-
like the '90s, it was like the workhorse title. It was like the
It
main
was supposed to
event
be the
when
sta-
like
Oh, there's Sputnik. Looks a little different
That's
than a
my
satellite.
man, Sputnik Monroe.
Very good. Thank you, Aaron. That was a good pull. The IC belt used to be the step before the main title.
Before you got to Bruno.
But here's the problem. You have one IC belt, but you have 2 heavyweight championship titles.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So again, there's disconnect there. But anyway, all right, let's move on from that. World Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair.
Ray Ripley.
Sean says, Chief listened to Sputnik on the radio.
He beamed me up once, Sean.
That's funny
Thanks,
right
buddy.
there. Ripley and Flair, you said?
Ripley.
Ripley?
Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley. I think Charlotte gets it back at SummerSlam if Becky's not somehow involved back on TV before then.
Hey, I hope Becky puts the thump on him.
I hope so.
There you go.
All right, Universal Championship. This happened last night. Rey Mysterio versus Roman. There's a reason that they pulled it off of the card and put it on TV. I don't know what it was. So
y'all
who's
have to heighten my awareness on this one.
I wonder if it's gonna turn into Dominic
Change.
versus
Reigns?
Reigns at Hell in a Cell, and Reigns might halfway try to kill him like he did the other week. I turned that into a Golden Knights meme. I was really hoping they were gonna pick that up.
I saw that. After last night, though, I don't know we want to.
I won't talk about it.
I think we might see a down the road. We may see a new family member down in Florida. You know.
Well, Jimmy supposedly now is starting to turn and get into the family table now,
No,
based on last night.
No, I think we may see another family member.
And who would that be?
I won't reveal my sources.
you can say it on speculation.
I don't do dirt sheets, and I'm not giving up my source. So, but we may see a new family member. Stay tuned.
Male or female?
Male.
Okay.
Stay tuned, folks.
Okay, all right. That cuts the thought process down in half.
I know,
However,
I was bugging the living shit
And
out of him last
I'm
week.
not sure it's going to be north or south yet. He wouldn't tell me last night.
I'll tell you after.
okay, all right.
I was harassing the living crap out of him. I was like, so are you going to the north part of Jacksonville or are you going to Orlando? And he was like, I can't say.
And we tried all kinds of ways.
I was giving area codes. I was like, who signed your check, Tony or Vince?
That- Thomas Burnett says one rumor has it that Roman didn't want to work on Father's Day, which is why they may have changed the match to last night and he won't wrestle.
I'll respect that. I'll respect that.
Yeah, but
You know, we do some stupid things. Well, no, let me back up.
okay.
There are, at times in the wrestling profession, that things are done stupidly.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Why would you and I'm not saying, hey, I'm going to watch it. It's Father's Day.
Yep.
But why would you put a wrestling show on Father's Day?
Why would they put one on Christmas? Why would they put one on
No,
Thanksgiving?
I don't disagree.
Christmas, though, they pre-tape. Christmas and New Year's, they generally pre-tape. But
I don't disagree
Right.
with what you're saying. But why on those days? There's enough other days throughout the year, enough weekends, that they could do it to where the wrestlers aren't wrestling, so they could be home with their families too.
yeah, I don't disagree because hardcore wrestling fans, they're going to watch it regardless.
Of course,
I'm going to watch it just because listen, should I not watch it because of course I shouldn't watch it. I can easily get the results by thumbing on my phone at some point and just get the results. But for a big pay-per-view, just knowing who won versus being able to watch it is a different experience, and everybody knows it.
Yes.
There's a prediction in the chat room from Dave Castro in his belief of who may be headed to NXT, and I'll just leave it at that. You can read it in there. Anyway, okay. So right now, Roman Reigns tomorrow is up in the air for his title belt. Next match is slated. Alexa Bliss versus Shayna Baszler. What do we see in that match? Shenanigans, to say the least, at some point.
There's going to be fire. There's going to be a doll.
Do we
Hopefully
see
the return of Bray Wyatt.
I was just
going to
ask
reason.
that. I was just going to ask that. Is this where we see a return to Bray?
You know,
I sure hope so.
as much as I have disdain for Shayna Baszler, I think it's time somebody really whips your girl's ass.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Unless it's Matt. If Matt wants to whip her ass, then he'll do it.
And tomorrow may be the day.
No.
Yes.
That's a hard no.
Yes.
All right, before we get ready for Chiefs rant, hint, hint, Mr. Producer, I think there's one more match that was announced last night. We're going to see Cesaro and Rollins, I believe, tomorrow as well. Is that correct?
Cesaro and Rollins.
I got home at 2 a.m. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Okay,
I was not home last night. Thomas Burnett, if you can help us out, I'd appreciate
I know.
this one.
I
brother.
usually get the final
Please.
announced card, and I couldn't find it before this morning's show. We've hit the
Or
the
Sean,
major-
help us out.
But I think so, because last night they were set up. I think it was Cesaro and Rollins would be on the pay-per-view. Maybe I'm wrong, but at the last time I heard, there were 6 or 7 matches confirmed. But these are the highlights.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, now we're at the bottom of the hour, which can mean only one thing. It's time for the Chiefs rant. Two convenient locations. Two convenient locations. So how do you know this?
Good morning, everyone. It is the Chief. My 3 minutes of fame, it's now 2:58. Anyway, I want to talk about a strategic move that AEW did this past week. And you know, I sat and thought about it, and we've talked about SummerSlam being out here at Allegiant Stadium, and you know, WWE doing their big events, you know, 100,000 people, 70,000 people. But you know, AEW might have caught on to something. They've just announced this past week they're going to have a wrestling event at Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York. And for those of you who haven't been there, I have, fortunately, because I was born and raised up in that area. I think AEW might be onto something. There's not a bad seat in the house. There's not a post in the house. So wherever you sit in that stadium, you're going to have a great seat. And you're going to be up close and personal. I mean, stop and think about it. The ring is going to be on the tennis court, okay? And all around the venue, you have seats up to a certain height. They're not going to be able to put a lot of people in there, like big events. But you know, if we stop and think about it, maybe they're going to do a lot more shows like that. So it's going to become selective of how many people will be at the show. Now, granted, they do have to make money. All companies do. They're going to have their big events, like we have coming up out here in August at SummerSlam and WrestleMania and AEW's Double or Nothing, I believe. Help me out. Is it Double
Yeah,
or
it's
Nothing?
Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing.
We better get a show before that.
I agree. So, I mean, you stop and think about it. Go on Facebook, take a look at Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York, and it reminds me of the old ECW arena in Philly and the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York when ECW put their shows on. You know, you had good quality wrestling with a certain amount of fans in the stands, so to speak, and you know, they were great shows. So just give you a little bit of history, look it up. That's the Chiefs rant today, and happy Father's Day to all the fathers and everybody else that is a father out there.
Absolutely. Great job. When I heard saw the announcement, Arthur Ashe Stadium tennis, I'm like, how are you going to configure this? But you know what? They're thinking outside the box. They're bringing something new, finally, in my opinion, that they said were going to be done differently, and holding it in a tennis arena
Yes.
like that, I think is something very different. I pulled up the card courtesy of CBS.com. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn is a match, as well as Rollins and Cesaro. So those are the other two matches.
Rollins and
that-
Cesaro, I like that.
Yeah, you know, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they put on great matches, but how many more times do we need to see them go at it in the ring? You know what I'm saying? They had it at WrestleMania, right? They had a match there. Yeah, Zayn keeps getting involved in the matches against Apollo, but that seems like just one of those feuds that they keep having to go back to create excitement.
Because it works.
It works, or do we need to call new blood?
If they let
New
those
blood
two
is
go at
needed.
it like they did in Ring of Honor,
Mm-hmm.
that would be like the feud of the decade in WWE.
Maybe Kevin handcuffs him to the stanchion and underneath and beats the crap out of him.
Someone that loses a key.
Yeah.
As I'm looking through the match card, they actually have removed the Universal title match from the card. So apparently we're not going to see Roman in the ring defend the title at the pay-per-view, which obviously I think there's more to it than just wanting Father's Day off, in my opinion. But whatever the reason, that is the full card. Okay. I'm trying to keep an eye on the clock. All right, next topic. Let's go really quickly through the NXT TakeOver review. This was last week, and then we'll go into news and notes from all around the wrestling world. NXT North American and Tag Team Champion Bronson Reed and MSK defeated Legado del Fantasma.
That was a fantastic match. They got down and they got to it. And you know what? I have to say, for a big man,
Bronson can move.
yes, he can.
Yeah.
And I know another guy who's, I'll just say, getting
It's time to help people customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Absolutely. Good morning, Duke, Sarah, Dave. We appreciate it. Let's see. Rollins and Cesaro could be matching Cell too. This kind of goes back to what I was talking about. Yes, I would love to see Kevin and Sami in the cage more than Cesaro and Rollins. But interesting comments. We appreciate you all stopping by in the chat room. Let me ask you a question. In the difference to all the other news and notes that we have listed here, let's go by whatever one other match you guys want to pick out of here to talk about rather than going through them all. I want to save time to go through some more of the odds and end notes. To me, the one that stands out is the $1 Million Championship match. LA Knight defeated Cameron Grimes to get the $1 Million belt, but then apparently Grimes came out this past week on NXT, and because $1 Million Man got clobbered, and Grimes came out to his defense, and that's going to continue to be an intriguing storyline.
I agree with you.
So
I agree. The one that entertained me, and you know what I'm going to say, Raquel Gonzalez and Ember Moon.
Yep.
Because I am a women's wrestling fan.
Yep.
That was a great match.
Cross versus all.
Yeah.
And Cross dominated. Just like
That's right.
we all thought he would.
I'll just give you the glory on that one.
All right, before we go on to our final break of the day, let's get into some of the news and notes around WWE and the rest of the wrestling world. We saw that we talked about at the top of the show, Samoa Joe returned on NXT as William Regal's enforcer. Stephanie McMahon puts out that there'll be a lot of surprises at SummerSlam. I talked about one if there's a turn with Kofi. Real quickly, what do you want to see happen that would constitute a surprise?
Pat McAfee,
The
Doing
Rock,
what?
get in the ring.
Okay.
The Rock come out and confront Roman Reigns.
Is it too early for that, given that they're aiming for WrestleMania for that? Because at SummerSlam it's supposed to be Cena and Rollins. That's what the rumors are for that. Is it too early for The Rock to come back now versus in and around SummerSlam? Maybe he decimates Cena, then he comes out at SummerSlam. I don't know. I think it may be too early.
You think he'd come back at SummerSlam, or do you think WrestleMania would be better?
I heard like he might be returning at Survivor Series
Okay.
to start setting it up, but if they want a big surprise for SummerSlam, still the two biggest names and the two biggest pops are going to be Stone Cold or The Rock.
How about Taker? I mean,
That too, but I think he's like done.
Maybe just a walkout. You know,
True.
nothing, just a walkout.
In front of people.
Yeah.
If they want the Vegas pop, the guy who was in the tryout match needs to, I don't know, be in a match against John Cena or something.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, SummerSlam is actually holding tryouts in
Yes.
town when they're here.
Yes.
So it's a great opportunity. Now, I heard somebody say something like you have to pay money for the tryout or whatever it is, but listen, this is the dream for everybody, I think, who's in professional wrestling to get to a major
And
promotion.
invest in your future.
Absolutely.
I think a mutual friend of ours who always gives me a hard time, Otto, get your ass there.
I think he is. From what I've seen online, he's gonna be down there. I don't think there's a local performer in town that we can name that's not going.
Can I throw something out?
Sean, I agree with you about Virgil. I'm sorry, go ahead.
The family, okay, the head of the table and the family. I had a thought. I was talking to my boy Sputnik. You know, he beamed me up. What if Arthur was to go to one side of the family and Sika was to go to the other side of
But
the
right now,
family?
there is no other side. Yet.
Yeah.
When The
I
Rock
know.
comes out, there will be
Yeah.
a.
Yeah. Well, which
the
one
ru-
of which one of them gave Roman the red leg when he won the title?
I don't remember.
His dad.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Is that Alpha
but-
or Sika?
but-
I don't remember.
But stop and
I think
think.
it's
Right.
Sika.
If
Yeah.
we think about it, that would be an interesting scenario.
That's a great take on that.
But
Absolutely.
see, that's creative writing.
I get to see The Rock coming out and be like, "You really think you're the head of the table of this family?"
There you go.
He's like, "You're lucky I've been busy, but now I'm not. Now it's time to deal with your little ass."
There you go.
but given that position for The Rock, you know at the very end he's going to put Roman over.
Oh, he's definitely losing the match,
So,
but
yeah, I could see that.
And
Absolutely.
I didn't mean to diversify.
No. You're
but
good. You're good.
I see that.
Yeah, Sean put in there, if he doesn't see Virgil come out through this $1 Million Championship line, he's quitting becoming a wrestling fan. I wouldn't mind seeing Virgil come out for a quick pop,
No.
but I don't want to see him anything long term. This is about the belt, Drake, and LA Knight.
Yep.
So,
I agree.
But speaking of that tryout,
Yes.
I genuinely hope Damian Drake is healthy by then. He's
I-
got to be like the #1 draft pick to get drafted by to get picked up by WWE.
Sean, if you can put in there, what are the chances that he's 100% healthy to participate in the tryout? Just put that in the chat room, what his timetable is for healing. All right. WWE plans on doing more gimmick theme shows, so we could see Raw Roulette and King of the Ring maybe sometime the rest of this year.
I'd like to see King of the Ring, but
Who do you think King of the Ring?
I want to see a Queen of the Ring too.
Yeah.
I would like them to go back to more women's events like that.
Sputnik just came down to me. How about Becky Lynch winning King
When did you
of the
start
Ring?
naming the voices in your head?
Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch winning King of the Ring.
Queen
She'd
of
be
the
like,
Ring.
I'm the man and
Oh,
the
King of the
Queen.
Ring?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That would be interesting.
That'd be
That's a
different.
good idea. Do you really think they're going to think of
No,
that?
they're
Hell
not
no.
going to.
Oh.
No, they're not going to do that. It makes too much sense. Many of the release stars have asked WWE to do away with their non-compete clauses. Apparently, WWE is open to the idea. I'm okay with that. Give these guys and gals a chance to earn some money.
Agree.
There's Sputnik calling in right now. Either that or there's a
Beat
fire.
me up, Sputnik.
Either that or there's a fire in the studio that I don't know about.
Hey, Sean,
There's
don't mess
Sputnik.
with me, buddy.
That's it. All right. All right. Thoughts on Eva Marie's return? Wasn't a return.
We really had to bring that
It's
name
it's
up.
on the list. I'm sorry. Pippin, is that the gal's
Just
name?
for Chief, I popped myself when I wrote it.
There you
I was
go.
Like, just get pissed Chief off.
Pippin,
you,
is that
brother.
her name? Pippin Piper, whatever her bodyguard was. She
Piper
actually,
Nevin.
she's the one that actually did the match and got the win.
It's time to help people customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
How do I want to put this? A plump lady?
No body shaming.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna tell you what.
Stand in for the Pillsbury
I
Doughboy.
was very. That's. Send your thoughts to Matt.
Mad at Thoughts Count Anywhere. I don't give a shit.
I got you back. She did quite well, for her first big time on TV. She did quite well. I was impressed with her.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, this is an intriguing storyline where you have. I mean, it's intriguing from the standpoint that Eva Marie is kind of picking up where she left off in her original storyline, where she puts off not actually working, the malfunction, blah 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 blah.
And they pay her for that shit.
I
Eva
know.
Marie looked great in her debut.
Freaking hood ornament.
By the way, Jason, we had already announced EC3 being at the mall today, so we've already covered that
12
earlier on
to
in the
2.
show. Yep, 12 to 2. All right.
I still can't believe WWE actually got rid of the Iconics, Ruby Riot, and Mickey James.
Terrible.
To
Well,
make
Mickey
room
James-
for Eva Marie.
But
No,
Mickey James is going to show back up on
NWA.
NWA.
NWA, yeah, because she's involved in she's trying to help in the women's division over there.
From now on the run sheet, you put hood ornament, not her name. Hood ornament.
Put Eva Marie on
Sean-
one back of the page.
Sean responds, unfortunately, Damien will not be at the tryout because the original time frame for recovery is 9 months.
Damn.
So, but that doesn't mean when he's healthy, he still can't.
In
get
9 months,
in.
Triple H is going to know who the hell he is.
Exactly.
Well, I know people, so 9 months down the road, buddy, we'll see what happens.
Tom Crawford puts in there, he's heard that the quote-unquote tryout is costing about $1,000. It's nothing more than a money grab for the WWE.
Hey, Tom, are you listening today how a bell is supposed to be rung, sir? Thank
NXT has made changes to NXT TV after suggestion from Shawn Michaels' wife to shorten ring entrances so people won't turn the channel during the entrances. Interesting.
It's kind of funny it came from Shawn Michaels' wife. They can shorten all the entrances except for crosses because that shit is badass.
Okay.
Interesting?
Yes.
Interesting take. Real quickly, I just want to special sets. They're going back to special sets for SummerSlam as well as Raw and SmackDown, which they've done in the past. By the way, here's a little trivia question. I saw this in the last WWE Treasure Hunts.
Cardinals.
With,
BR 549. No.
no,
No. 35.
no, not 35-7.
Okay.
When they were going
Halfheimers.
when they were going after Andre the Giant stuff. Okay.
Yes.
And this was part of the warehouse.
Yes.
The fist that you see on the original SmackDown set, do you know whose fist that was?
Andres.
I have no idea.
It's not
Vince's,
Andres.
maybe?
It's not Andres. The Big Show. He showed the picture. There was a picture of him, an 8.5 by where he's throwing that fist out, and it just happened to be square to the camera. And that's Big Show's right hand back in the day when they created that fist. That fist was molded after Big Show.
That is
Oh, I'm
cool.
sorry, Paul White.
Cool.
Paul White of it.
No, that's okay.
And what I found interesting,
I call him Evan, you call
yeah,
him Big Show.
that particular show, which was I believe the season, they did a great job with those wrestling documentaries and the treasures thing.
Enjoyed them.
They're great. I haven't watched the China one yet, which just was Thursday. I haven't recorded, but here you have two guys as the prominent guys in that show. Big Show and Mark Henry were all about getting involved with this and of course, obviously it was taped and done before they made the change. But I found it very ironic because both of them are wearing WWE jackets, the hats, and here they are doing this big show. Not no more. I found it quite. There was a light moment for me in seeing that. So,
is there possibility of with Paul and
Mark
moving to AEW that things may open up down the road a little bit when Vince goes away and Steph and Triple H are in charge with Shawn, that maybe people start working together?
Could be.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, thank you, Thomas, for correcting me. Tomorrow night is the last season episode with Ric Flair stuff for WWE Treasures. Okay, I think we're up against our last break. Thank you. Let's go to our final break, and then when we come back, we'll touch on a couple other headlines, some birthdays, and call it a day. You're watching TCA. We'll be right back.
If you order Firehouse Subs online or with our app, we'll have those delicious, melty subs boxed, bagged, and ready to pick up with rapid rescue to go. Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs. Save more lives.
This is John Cena. I just wanted to send you a congratulations on your podcast. Thoughts count anywhere. Because indeed they do. Thoughts are important. I mean, what would we do without them? And how can they not count anywhere? Is there a place that thoughts don't count? I can't think of one. Well, I just wanted to say thank you very much. Congratulations and good luck with the podcast. Thoughts count anywhere. Because they do.
If I was you, I'd shut my mouth.
All right.
Ray me, what the hell's a producer doing?
Okay. What was the other thing you reminded me to do?
Bracket.
Oh, bracket. Let's
birthdays.
talk about the brackets. You have some results there. Our bracketology, by the way, best finisher. Jesus. Finisher of all time. Round one is complete with the following results.
Pedigree beat the Melter Driver. Bro Kick beat Attitude Adjustment. The Stone Cold Stunner won unanimously against the Eclipse. The Macho Man Elbow Drop beat the Jackknife Powerbomb. The Crippler Crossface beat Edge's Spear, pretty decisively. I was surprised. The Rock Bottom beat the One Winged Angel. Sister Abigail beat the Famouser. GTS beat the Angle Slam. Batista Bomb beat Bank Statement. RKO beat Trouble in Paradise. Sweet Chin. I'll just name off the winners.
There you go.
Sweet Chin Music, The Last Ride. Canadian Destroyer, Crossroads, Panama Sunrise, Walls of Jericho, Twisted Bliss, Perfect Plex, Swanton Bomb, 619, Diamond Cutter, Tombstone, Razor's Edge, F5, Sharpshooter, Figure 4, 3D, 5-Star Frog Splash, Airborne, Ankle Lock, Styles Clash, and Jackhammer.
There you
We'll
go.
all be in the next round.
So that's your first round winners. So the brackets will be updated within the next day or so, and then you can go back out and vote. We appreciate everybody casting a vote on there. All right, let's go to some birthdays before we run out of time. This is one of my favorite spots. We talk about birthdays and share some names.
Happy birthday to you.
If you're celebrating a birthday today through next Friday, we want to wish you all a happy birthday from all of us here at Boston Anywhere. Celebrating a birthday with these. June 20th, which is tomorrow, you're celebrating Don West, Coco Beware. June 22nd, Earthquake. No, we're not having an earthquake. That's the birthday. June 23rd, Brandy Roach. By the way, congratulations to Brandy and Cody for the birthday of their new baby. Billy Kay, we talked about the Iconics earlier. I'm surprised. Real quickly, where do the Iconics show up? Give me a quick. AEW. Okay. June 24th, Jasmine Duke. June 25th, Layla L. and Mark Haskins. And that's it. If you're celebrating birthday with those people, happy birthday to all of you out there. Be safe and stay hydrated. Okay. 25 years ago this week, Stone Cold was first stunner.
Has it been that long?
No, that's what it says on the run
Damn,
sheet.
I'm getting old. Sean, don't comment on that either.
ESPYs, I love this one, right? Best WWE moment is returning to the ESPYs. I think that's really big.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing. There's so many. I was gonna write down the nominees, but it says like match one, and there's like 2 moments under each one. So I don't know if it's like a bracket thing at the moment or what it was. I still got to figure that part out.
I like it because now I like that, again, wrestling is getting that type of recognition. I wish that hopefully they're just not looking at WWE and AEW. I'd love to see some of the indies get picked up to do that. Wouldn't it be great if we see some of our local guys be in the match of the moment at the ESPYs?
Do you know where some of the best wrestling matches are at?
Right here in Vegas.
Yes. New Japan.
Yeah.
And no recognition at all.
No. But, well, you know what? They're out of sight, out of mind. They're not in the United States. They're not on TV. I mean, we got wrestling now pretty much 7 days a week for all intents and purposes, you know, and AEW's following. They're following them to Friday with the playoff schedules and everything, which is going to bode well for when they kick off their new Friday show that Mark Henry's supposed to be on, right? Or whichever one is supposed to be on.
You stop and think about it. Antonio Inoki.
Oh, right, and he's
Ricky
not well, by the way.
Toshu.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Inoki is not well.
But you think about it, they've got great wrestlers over there.
Even now, Will Ospreay, Okada.
Enough of my rant.
And many of the wrestlers that we see in WWE today, AJ Styles, the Good Brothers, were over there, and they still wrestle there. I want to say Moxley. Moxley.
Moxley is
He's their champ.
United States champion.
Exactly. So we'll see. I kind of agree. Things will change.
I hope so. I really do.
Thomas Burnett says that he could have sworn Austin hit a stunner on Savio Vega at WrestleMania 12. Hey, I'm just going by what's on the run sheet.
It was against Savio Vega, yes. I don't remember when it was.
Well, there you go. All right, let's move on to FSW 10. We got that. Oh, and also Renee Young, as we knew her in the WWE. Her and Moxley became parents for the first time. They also,
I believe they had a baby girl.
Yes,
also.
I believe that is correct. You are correct. We talked about
congratulations.
There you go. In a Forbes magazine article, Tony Khan said AEW is still in the red. Most businesses don't turn the corner financially until a year or two in anyway, sometimes even longer. And they kept going through the pandemic. So you got to almost throw a year off the schedule for that to happen.
Scott says,
if I was you, I'd shut my mouth.
A wrestling promotion, prepare to lose money for the first 5 years.
Exactly.
Apparently that even equals like big television deals and everything else.
Right. Yeah. It's not unusual in any industry, but in wrestling more so. All right, let's go to pop culture. I know we kind of skipped around, but we actually touched on some of these as we went through our list. All right, last night.
2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Yes, sir.
All right, we got to make this quick. Last night, our Vegas Knights lost a bad game.
I was watching the game at work. I was the closest I've ever come to throwing my fucking phone.
Yeah.
When that freaking puck went off of Marc-Andre Fleury's skate and it just left it wide open, I was like, dear God, what the hell just happened?
With 1:55 left in the game that they were up 2-1.
We were dominating that entire game.
Yep. Mistakes happen. The good news is, as I talked about earlier on my previous show, is that it's only game 4 now coming up.
True.
Still need to get to 4 wins.
Yeah.
Montreal still needs to get to 4. The Knights still need to get 4 wins. I just hope they bounce back, because if they lose tomorrow night,
They're screwed.
series is over, coming back to Vegas. All right. The Oakland Athletics are making their second trip to Las Vegas. They're going to do site reviews, as I previously read. As I mentioned, I don't want to see the baseball park on Las Vegas Boulevard. Some little birdie in the previous show made a great recommendation up 215 in North Vegas, up near the Speedway. I think is a great location up there to have it. Gets all the bottleneck traffic out of the city. This is a good one. The MSG Sphere continues construction down off of like Koval behind the strip back there. Scheduled to open in 2023, which is really cool. Another venue, about 17,000, 18,000 people.
Yes, sir.
Designed pretty much for like concerts and things like that. So
They said that they were going to have the biggest screen in the world there for the concerts.
I think we're gonna get a lot more WWE events when that thing happens,
of the MSG connection.
Because Vince still has a boner for freaking MSG. They're
Yeah.
always there.
Yep.
And if we have the MSG of the West Coast,
Yep, that's not a bad point. I like that idea.
there's gonna be a lot of WWE events in that
Madison
building.
Square's got a lot of history,
Yeah,
brother.
that's why Vince. Don't they have some arrangement supposedly with MSG that no other wrestling promotion can go into the Garden? Although there was an issue last year where AEW was trying to get
They
in, and one
tried
other,
to,
right?
and
They wouldn't do it.
it ain't
Last
happening.
one. If you like Mattel products, there's going to be a theme park opening up in Arizona, specific and designed for Mattel by Mattel, which is pretty cool. So
That is pretty cool. I hope they have like exclusive figures so I can go get them.
there you go. That's right.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that'd be pretty cool.
Now they just need me to Scarlet.
No, we're right on time. Be quick, yes, sir. Talking to the mic.
The one was in the camp
He doesn't want people just being thrown together for the sake of a match. He wants matches that have stories on them. That's why now they're throwing together some people. There you go. All right, buy the shirt. If you want to be a bell ringer, buy the shirt. Come in, wear your shirt. Go and see you have it to get you into the DJ. All right, final thoughts, Mr. Matt, besides eating sleep, but stay hydrated.
Stay cool, drink water.
There you go. Mr. G.
Happy Father's Day to everybody out there.
Right on.
Stay hydrated. The old guy here is too damn hot to be out
Be smart. By the way, next week's show is a big part for Big Valley Wrestling. They are doing a fundraiser event to the Community Center. In studio, the main event right here will be Shade and Davey Dow. TCN sponsors of the main event happening. They will be in studio to talk about the first ever match together that night at the LGBTQ Community Center. Thank you for watching, everybody. As the guy said, stay hydrated. Check on the neighbor. If they're elderly and you haven't seen them, go knock on the door, make sure they're okay. With that, as always, be kind to them. Like that, all we have. See you next week. Thoughts count anywhere.